3%. So, I think an overpass could have been a battle of some magnitude. But we are in game map 1 of Nuke, and something to highlight is Anonymo actually a 3-match winning streak. 3 best of 3s against Godsend, against Pact, and against Movie Star Riders. I do believe that it was one of them wasn't in this tournament, but as far as I remember, Anonymo were 0-2 heading into this one. They were heavily down and out of this one, and somehow they've pulled it right on back as we head into the pistols. Saw gonna try and explode out towards ramp. Kylar, oh my god, Snacks the beast as well. Anonymo, a flawless pistol. 2 people keep Kevlar as well at full HP, so they can continue to invest full helmet for only an extra 350. That is unreal, and I mean, we said 2-1 simply because of Nuke being that map pick of Saw. We know Anonymo aren't too strong on it, but I've just seen a flawless round by Anonymo, and that's making me a little bit nerved with what just happened.
Yeah, I mean, it does cause you some nerves when you see that on Saw's map pick, but it is the first round, right? It isn't going to decide how this game is going to go out. Saw still have plenty of chances to actually get the ball rolling, and it being a pistol, anybody can win it. Anonymo were the ones that were able to find the first frags, and that would mean that they had all the information and the numbers advantage in that, so it was fairly straightforward for Anonymo from that point, but this is where we see Saw try to challenge them, right? This is where we're seeing all the buy coming through. We see the force buy, the deagle, the Tech 9 from Doto. We know how he loves to play aggressive with that, and we know how good he is when he gets to it. But only 1 piece of flash on the Arky side. All the rest are going to have to be smoked on behalf of their util, and they've used all of their economy. Anonymous should be able to hold this down, but Saw, they're looking for damage, right? They're looking to deny weapons from the Anonymous side, maybe even get themselves some and move on to the next ones. And Anonymous, they've invested quite a bit. They've got a couple of M4s, an AUG as well, a couple of MP9s stacked up with Util and Kevlar. So Anonymo have heavily invested in this. So Saw, what they're looking for here is damage. I think they might be able to do so, especially that they've been able to make themselves to go outside unnoticed and unscathed. Snacks will be holding down the line. He will be looking to do damage here as they look to trickle in.
Yeah, gonna drop the smoke up close, and now he might just choose to rattle a couple of shots through it. Opts against it for the time being, and it will be the hold towards Secret the Org and keep holding this down. And actually, Snack's just going to drop away completely. Doesn't want to overinvest into this round, and rightly so. I think that pushing forward into that close proximity with an MP9 against pistols, you know, it really could be that money maker, but at the same time, it's a rifle, or rather an SMG, excuse me, in the wrong hands. And so, as they push on forward, do they clear Snacks? I don't think they do, because he's done big damage to the first. Tags up a second to big HP as well, and he does find his first assist of 2 as key with the Org in the with the MP9. The Org denied of another flawless round, as he will be dropped immediately, but Anonymo 2-0, and just to give you a bit of a statistic here, Saw, they beat Copenhagen Flames and Sinners to go 2-0. Anonymo lost to Skade and Trident to go 0-2. Anonymo are on a 2-match winning streak in this, a 3-match winning streak overall, and currently Saw, coming in from 2-0, have lost 2 games in a row, actually a 3-match loss streak. This is shaping up Anonymo quite nicely.
It is indeed. It's fairly weird to see Saw fall like this. It's kind of like they've got themselves in a really tough mental spot, right? I mean, they had a chance to qualify when they played against what I believe was Havu, which they did take them to a 3rd map, but Havu was one of the first 2 teams to qualify onto the playoff side together with Windstrike. So, yeah, they had a chance again with Nemiga, again to a 3rd map, where they also had a solid chance where it could have gone either way. But seeing that this is their 3rd and final chance, they need to come up huge here. And Anonymo, they're doing a good start so far. They're able to find those frags, not losing too many players. They've got M4s and rifles all around. Snacks finding a nice little Kobe tribute, RIP. But Arky, with the last player remaining, will try and find a kill. But no, it's going to be a flawless round for Anonymo. It's going to be with full piece of health all over this board, but Saw, this is their chance to start coming back, right? This is the chance where they get themselves these rifles, and this is where they challenge their opponents. Although I'm not quite sure if they're able to get themselves an AWP unless they go for a glass cannon.
Yeah, I think right now that Saw, they need to start doing damage, because that's 3 rounds now that we've witnessed in which Anonymo have basically kept all of their forces. Admittedly, in that 2nd round, we saw, you know, we saw 2 players fall, which is a substantial amount of damage done to the economy early, you know, brewing early on for Anonymo. But it's the fact now that another flawless round has just given them more money in their pockets, and they only have to reinvest their utility. And so the rebuy is really easy for them coming into round 4. They only have to buy the utility, they keep it to a minimum, and heading on forward, I think it's just a matter of now Saw need to do damage. Round conversion I don't think is obviously at the top of their priorities, but I don't think they should be dependent on it for a victory. They're on the T side. They know that the CT economy won't be doing great if they can continue to apply, I don't know, 3-4 kills around. Even if Anonymo was to pick them up, in the long run, in the long game, Saw are going to outclass Anonymo in terms of economy, and they quickly realise this now. That Molotov actually very cheeky. I'm not sure if that was thrown by one of the Anonymo players, and I do believe it was, but unfortunately, the smoke landing smack bang where it needed to. Snack's now rotating in towards Secret. It's going to have a bit of a challenge ahead of him, but a first shot onto Roman isn't going to go without a trade as Snack's running away. He was actually keen to throw that Molotov out. Instead, he holds his nerve, and it works out nicely because he drops the smoke instead, and Saw know they can't push back into this with an AWP locking them down, and so now they have to look elsewhere, and main is their only option. 30 seconds to go. They've got to make this quick.
Yeah, not much time remaining here. They will try and get them pushed through and gaining some ground onto Heaven, and A is exactly what they're looking for, though. Anonymo, it seems they have stacked upon this. Only one player to that lower level of that map, close to the B side. The rest, all 4 players, are nearby A, and Meteorist together with just perhaps to get the push going here, but with 10 seconds remaining, it's going to have to be fast without losing too many players. Minion K, Kyla all joining in on the fray. Arky finding a little bit of fire onto K there, close him down, but it's just 1 kill all over to the Source side. Seeing that was a force buy, not exactly what they want, but Anonymo, they keep things strong, getting themselves that 4-0 and keeping themselves in a solid spot economically as well. Technical pause to come through.
Tech-tac pause.
Tech-tac pause. And I believe it is Saw that have called it. Hopefully it's not anything too major heading into this one. It seems like Saw's games these past couple of days have been filled with these tech-tac pauses. So, yeah.
It's an FPS problem on Doto, but fortunately, I'm just going to fix it up and jump right back in. And something to highlight as well, right, in that round, I do believe that was a flawless round for Anonymo. Or a near flawless one at that, if I quickly double check. Yeah, it was a flawless round.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm wondering what's going to go down heading into round 5. The money untouched effectively for the Anonymo side. They've still got even more money than where they started with. You know, some players actually capping around 6k. There's plenty of players sitting at 4k and above. Key the only man not to, so I do believe actually they have 1 casualty within that round. And Saw on an eco, they have found 1. Innocent dropped. That is a gun into the wrong hands, but for the time being, it's just a bomb plant that they are focused on. And so the retake will be imminent for Anonymo. Big damage done by these HE grenades. Oh my god, it's just more and more chipping away at the HP of Just. He is caught out. A 1-for-1 though. Muteris going to drop one with the Mac 10, looking for a second, and we'll find it. Key and Snacks back and forth though. And now it's down to Roman in a 1 versus 2. And somehow, it's the pistols on the side of Anonymo, or rather on the side of Saw, excuse me, that actually work better than that of the rifles that they brought into round 3 or round 4, and round 5 seems to be Anonymo's kryptonite. They dropped 3 players, and that's going to be a really heavy reinvestment. A bomb plant in Saw's favour as well has put more money in their pockets, and I think that's a round that Anonymo desperately needed to, or rather Saw desperately needed to find for Anonymo.
Oh, absolutely. A very good round there from Saw. Very, very good. And we know how good they are on these pistols, and they show it once more. A couple of Tech 9s and Deagles did the job there for the Saw side. With the tactical timeout coming through, they know this is their chance to actually get themselves back into the game. Break through this barrier that Anonymo have created, that 5-0 barrier. And finding those kills earlier does get that economy a little bit more approachable for themselves, does allow them to get back into the game that much more quicker. And will mean that Anonymo at some point will be starving out. But yeah, they are going to get this, get a tactical timeout out. And I think I like that because it does give them that time to reprocess their thinking strategy, just make sure they have just that extra time so everyone is on the same page to get the right push in, get the right idea on, and discuss potentially of how they want to do it. It is more of a mental game at this point, especially being this third map of this third best of 3, where Saw has been in this qualification matchup, but now they've got elimination on the on the line as well. So it's not just qualification they're fighting for; they're just fighting for the remainers in this tournament. Innocent, he's able to find a quick kill into Doto. The smoke not quite covering his tracks, and that will be his death. As they are looking to push through, but they're taking things slow, realizing they've lost 1 player. They need to be a lot more clever with how they play this one out now.
Yeah, right now it seems to be Anonymo just continuing to dominate. They're continuing to just perform on every level, and it just frustrates me that Saw, yet again, that's 2 frags now that Anonymo have found, and there is no response by Saw. They can't find the trades. There is no utility being thrown out to flush the players like Snacks, the players like Innocent, those that will punish you for every minute mistake that you make. There's no utility to counteract that. And so Anonymo are getting away scot-free with frag after frag, and they're having every opportunity right now to just continue to deliver the pain, continue the suffering, and there is no response from Saw. And so heading into this minute mark, Saw need to find themselves back on their front foot. They need to stride through what I would argue is a terrible moment for them economically and in terms of riflery, where they have no utility remaining. I wouldn't be surprised if the last 3 players save here. They've got they've got all the money in the world and all the rifles in the world, considering the loss bonus. And so why would you invest possibly losing your 3 rifles and having limited utility when you can use this time, use the money already saved to just get yourself and scoop up possibly more utility? Innocent overextending down the vents. Terrorist going to get caught out. Snacks with the Desert Eagle, though, and puts things back into the man advantage once again for Saw. Roman, or rather for Anonymo, it is Roman to plant the bomb. Gunned down by Snacks. Is going to scoop up the AK just alone, and he knows he's got no time. Snacks going to tap it. Anonymo, and making sure that they clear everything, and now this is where they stick it. Snacks, he's going to cover. Back turn towards ramp. He knows his teammates pushed up quite nicely. Other player holding secret. Double door is where the bomb is planted on the flip side of, and so a 6th on the board for Anonymo and 3 rifles saved. It's just more money in their pockets now, and you're going to continue to see it boom. Saw need a change desperately.
Yeah, you know, like Saw, it looked like they had the numbers at a disadvantage, especially with that 5 versus 3 at the start. And you pointed out something that you thought that Saw would just play it back, eco, save their weapons onto the next round, and not challenge for something. But that's not what they did. They actually went for it, and I like that from them, right? If they're not afraid to play aggressive, not afraid to surprise their opponents, they may be able to win some trades. Although they did win some favorable ones at the start, it just got evened out. The numbers advantage did really favor Anonymo at the end of the day, and especially with a couple of players being low, it didn't really facilitate them to get that win. But the fact that Saw are playing aggressive, are playing like they deserve to be winning these rounds, is a good point. And seeing how well they were able to come back in games yesterday, I don't doubt that they will be able to do something like that again today. Arky's able to find one, gets traded out there from Kyler. Nice dirty headshot from him there, but that gives Saw the numbers advantage into this round. But they are taking things slow once more, making sure they've got the right lurking information. Snacks, though, he's so dangerous with this AWP, and this double up setup here from Anonymo needs to work out, but he's still holding down the line just... Oh! He's able to find it in the end, and that will give them the number equalizer. 3 versus 3 right now, as doto is able to pick up the rifle, pick up the bomb, while this Materis from above is able to do quite a bit of damage now on site, finding one into Kyler. Minyo now is the only player alive for this Polish Anonymo side, as Saw get themselves the bomb plant here onto the B site.
Minio alone against 2, and with an AWP, I don't think he's got much choice but to save. A beautiful round, and finally Saw find their footing. But, you know, as much as we're sitting here and crediting Anonymo, I think we've got to realise that in this scenario last time, where we saw it was against, I do believe it was yesterday, so it would have been not against Harvu, their second game, right? The middle one of the 3, which would have been, hold on. God, this is poor. It was Namiga. Yeah, how did I forget that? I have no clue. But against Namiga, yeah, exactly. I was here literally 24 hours ago casting them, this exact map as well, on Nuke. And something I was going to highlight, right, against Namiga, Saw they flopped T-side of Nuke completely.
Yeah, it was 12-3. It was 12-3 at half-time. But...
Oh, no, it was against Harvu. It was against Harvu.
Wasn't it yesterday? Wasn't it yesterday that we had those insane 12-3 rounds as well?
Yeah, it was. But it was yesterday was Inferno Nuke.
Right.
Inferno Nuke Vertigo.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it was against Harvu, right, where they played Nuke. Yeah, it was. And Harvu went up 10-5 on the CT side. Yet Saw came back and won 16-14.
Mad.
So my point is that Saw, we know that when they get 5 rounds, they can survive games against some of the world's best as well. I mean, you look at a side like Harvu and you go, okay, this is a side, you know, you don't mess with these guys. I mean, Ariel went 59-43 in that series, so, you know, a star performance, arguably, from the Harvu side to beat them. But still, they managed to take Nuke even when they were 5-10 down. And so heading into this one, I mean, what's stopping them from even taking, I don't know, an 11-4 half, a 12-3 half?
But they are getting the push through. Arky's able to find one. Innocent though with the return with that 4v4 sort, taking it explosively towards the A-site. Flashes coming out, but now they've paused a little bit, lingering. Not quite sure if they want to get that push through just yet. Not quite sure of their opponent's positioning, and that's going to cost them. A couple of players onto Heaven may be their death maker, but Roman holding it down. Snacks though, he can hold the closer angle with the AWP. He would be able to win that trade 8 times out of 10. But it's a 3-on-3. And the bomb plant isn't quite safe yet. They are going to get it down right behind the barrels. Anonymo. They're playing the slow, and without much util, they can't really find the entry they would have liked. But 3 versus 3, this is still doable. They've got players on all sides. Snacks and Minyo pushing up together. Roman, he's holding that right angle here. Slowly to push forward. He might be able to meet him with his crosshair. He's able to find that head. Now they know where Minyo is, but Materi's now spotted up. He's found Innocent as well. Not quite able to shoot him down, but Anonymo, they realized, no, they know exactly where they are. They'll be able to shoot them through. Snacks is able to find the kill. And yeah, they're not quite able to win that through. As sure, they get themselves a second. So if they get themselves a few rounds in a row here, as you said, Retro, these 5, if they're able to get themselves 5 rounds, they've showed it before that they can win games like that. So this is a solid start for them.
Yeah. I think it goes without saying, right? Anonymo CT side Nuke, it was imminent that they were gonna find some round count above Saw, but I wanted to bring that Harvu ideology into equation, right? Where, yes, they did go 5-10 down on the T side, but they still managed to make things work, and they still managed to actually very nearly lose, but they still managed to clutch up and win where it matters. And so heading into this game, they're going to have that on the forefront of their mind. They need to find this map pick, because we know Anonymo is so strong in the other 2 maps. They need to pull off an upset, but taking this step at a time, they need to figure out their footing on Nuke before they even consider the 2nd or 3rd map. And so right now, I think that for them to get 5 rounds is going to be very, very comfortable. And I think that is a must-need checklist for Anonymo, or for Saw, excuse me.
Yeah, I think that 5th round would be the minimum that they would require to actually come back into the game. Ooh, Arky survives with 3 points of health there with that shot coming through. Kyler with a pistol is able to find some damage. Snacks with the AWP. All of a sudden, things have turned right back around. Materius, though, he's holding down his ground. He's able to find K. And Minyo and Snacks are the only players surviving. Scratch that, Minyo just died. Materius, he's doing a lot of work against his opponents right now. 3 kills to his name. And Snacks, it may look like he'll have to save in his 2nd round in a row here, as Saw look to get themselves a 3rd.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. They need to start chaining these rounds together, and Anonymo, they're falling to the clutches of defeat, where Anonymo are finally getting pressured by Saw. They're being put into positions they don't particularly like, and now Saw are manipulating the play ever so slightly back in their favor, and it's starting to work. Again, solo play Mutiris to pick up a 3k within the round to help them on their way to victory within round number 8. Or round 9, excuse me. But the highlight being made is that they have opportunities now, right? So if they start chaining these rounds together, they start figuring out the pace, they work out the momentum more than anything, then there's no denying that Saw can take this map. We were saying that this is Saw's map pick. They should be able to take this with ease, because Anonymo aren't well rehearsed on that map. They aren't that well-oiled engine that Saw are on Nuke. But heading into map 2, heading into map 3, I just don't see the same for Saw. And so this is the must-need map pick for them to take it over the line, for them to even survive to a 3rd map.
Absolutely agreed. I think you said that perfectly. Saw. This is a very important map for them, right? Very, very important. So far, they're not doing that bad, though. Getting themselves a 3rd with potential finding the 4th as the tempo is running through their veins. But Kai is getting a little bit of an aggressive push here from outside. He may be able to gain info, but will it matter if Saw play aggressively? I think Unspotted, a player, has got himself into vents, maybe more. A lot of people getting onto the B site as Minyo will have to hold it down from ramp. A little spray down coming through. Ooh, he's able to find just through the smoke. Nice little pick from him. A sheet grenade thrown out. Won't allow the plant just yet. Also does quite a bit of damage, but the bomb does get planted either way, as Anonymo may look to get themselves that 4v4, 5v4 retake. Although the B site here on Nuke is fairly difficult to retake. One of the hardest, arguably, sites to retake in the current map pool.
Right now, it's all about timing. Roman has found another Arky to spam on up. Utiris nailing one from the top of the vents, and it's already quickly broken apart as Saw do find their fourth and they do find their footing. Yet again, Snack saving the AWP. The other two just going to run away. They don't want to challenge anything, and I don't blame them whatsoever. Materis running right into the crosshair of Innocent. Sprayed out. A 3 versus 3, but of course, bomb detonated. A 4th on the board for Saw. This is the tempo that we needed to see from them heading into Nuke. I've already said it, and I'll say it again. This is the must-need map pick, and so for them to be able to deliver even in a 4 versus 5, that is great. That is a stellar performance from them. So heading into round 11, they're looking to keep that up, but of course, Anonymo, the reinvestment there. When will they take their time out is the question, though. If they keep losing these rounds, why don't they take a 30-second breather to think about what the problems are and recoup and reevaluate the situation that they're in?
Yeah. So, they're not giving that AWP to Doto yet, and I think the reason for that is because if something's not broken, don't fix it. They're able to get that aggression with the AK-47s. There's no reason to contest outside so far, even though they're smoking it out. Anonymo may think they're switching it up, but it's more of a distraction technique. They've got that one extra player that can cause chaos if they underestimate that position, but putting him in the backline is exactly what they want to allow them to get a push on, especially if they want to get it to the B site. Now, Kai, I believe he is holding down the ground. I think he will be able to spot Materis as he pushes through. But they're holding it down at the start. They're playing it slow, playing it collective, and not aggressing. Pretty much scouting out where Anonymo are playing out. So they have the right intel heading into one of these pushes. But time is ticking. They need to find this entry soon. Enough smoke coming out here in the main entry. Molly's thrown out. It looks like it's going to be the A-side take.
Yeah, right now it needs to be the hold for Anonymo that needs to be stuck together. But in fact, it's the A site threatened, but it's the B site under pressure. Key, good for 2. Beautiful spray down with the M4A4. And that's foiled their plans and fumbled completely the Vents dive that Saw were looking to catch the Polish side off guard with. And in a 30-second finance, in that sort of climate that you're in, they need to find these kills. They need to burst onto a site. It's just not happening. 25 seconds. Roman's in heaven now. And finally, the rotate can come in from main. Kyler is going to be holding things down, though. He is towards Hut. And if they plant for the side that he's on, it could be over. But he's spotted out. His plans are foiled. The bomb going down eventually, but he swings the right side. Beautiful first. Roman alone. Roman against 3. Has found 1, taking substantial amounts of hit points as well. Looking for a second. Does try and tap down, but Minio there ultimately to find himself his first within the round. But more importantly, a 7th on the board for Anonymo. They cancel and destroy the hype that Saw were bringing to the terrorist side of Nuke. And finally, they halt that hype train. But at 7-4... I mean, Saw have a great chance of taking this to 5, and we knew what they did against Harvu, so why can't they replicate that success once more?
Why not, indeed? I mean, Anonymo, they're able to shut down the streak here from Saw fairly close as well. It did come to a little bit of a clutch scenario for them, but Saw, they still have a chance here. Plenty of rounds still in the half to be played. I believe 4, if my maths is right. 4 more rounds? Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Good job, me. Patting myself on the back here. Yeah. quite right. But yeah, Saw, they're doing fine. I don't think they're feeling that pressured. This win doesn't mean that they will be losing, but it is a light at the end of the tunnel here for Anonymo. I know we're seeing that scoreline of Anonymo at that 7, which is 3 more than Saw, but even with an 8-7 half favoring Anonymo, we know how deadly Saw can be on the CT side. Therefore, they definitely need something more substantial than that. So, a little bit of a breath that they're able to take here with that win. It does give them some more leeway to perform, and it's definitely something they would want. But they need to keep this going. They can't just have that as a short-lived victory. They can't just have it as that one-off win. They need to wrap up these rounds one after the other, and if they do not, I believe Saw may have a chance to come back at this point. They are heading outside for the time being. I think they're switching things up, and it's something like I said earlier. It's something didn't work out. Now they're switching things up. Now they're going to take it outside. But Kai's holding it down when Sindre will block them out for the time being. They will rush through it. It does quite a bit of damage.
God. 1
incendiary. It just, I believe it took like more than 100 health points there.
Oh, for sure. 150.
My. But they are heading towards the B site, and I'm not quite sure if Anonymo quite know about this.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was in earshot to hear the Molotov tick, right, to do the damage onto the Saw players. But still, Minio there at least for somewhat of a response. He heard the AWP scope, and I think actually that was his teammate, right? Yeah, it was Snacks above him, but he still checks thinking that there was an AWP, on the Saw side, and actually it did sort of fumble Stadodo's positioning. Fortunately for them, he isn't spotted out or anything of that agenda. But still, for the time being, everyone relaxed. They do hear the noise being made towards A, or rather B. They do hear the utility being flung out. Snax has found one. Roman in response. Arky with another. Minio, his response is there. So 4 kills within a couple of seconds has put things level in a 3 versus 3. But Minio there to stay. Mutiris has found another. And the bomb will go down. Innocent manipulating his way around this smoke as he edges on forward. Spots out one. Double dink. Down goes Arky. And now Mutiris alone. 1 versus 2. Towards single door. The only position this bomb can be used to hold. Snax up close. Caught out. That's bad. They peek 1 by 1. And Innocent has to stick this. And he doesn't. Mutiris just going to spam on through. Innocent swings. But nice shot from Innocent. He has the time as well. And Anonymo find 8. Mutiris very close on clutching that up. But it is Innocent to save the day. Snax, I feel like it was a misplay. But at the same time, he tried to catch the player off guard. So it was a warranted peak, and it was a warranted flank, but it just didn't work out. And Anonymo, they find 8 now. And an 11-4 half, I mean, we were talking about 5-10, but it did go down to a 16-14. So what is that indicative of heading into the Source CT side if it continues and pursues to be Anonymo's half?
I mean, at the same time, we can't really expect that Anonymo's T side is as worthy as the Havu's T side, right? So that is expecting that they will be able to bring something out against the Saw CT lineup. So we still can't really tell, right? We still can't have a clear indication of how this one will turn out by looking at the rounds here at halftime. But Saw definitely wouldn't mind more than 5 rounds at this point, right? It is making it more comfortable. And at the end of the day, it's just that comfort that really plays that much difference. But Kai on the ladder, he's able to find a nice little spray onto Arky. Kyla as well onto Roman, as Innocent also joins in on the fray. A little bit of a spray down through the wall there, but that's not going to find too much damage. Wide peek there from Kyla, catches Mutiris off guard. So Doto now all by himself, finds himself onto the site, no control of the bomb, may make his way around and get a couple of kills, but against a 1v5, I know this guy is good, but I don't think he's this good.
Yeah, no, I think his time is imminent. Has found the first, continuing to spam down towards vendors, even taking some damage through Heart, swings wide. Last has been caught. Anonymo near Flawless round. Innocent, the only casualty for Anonymo within round 13. And as we head into round 14, this is a chance for Anonymo to find double digits. They fumbled in the middle of this half, where the 4 rounds being caught out by Saw. But if they can continue to be on this winning streak, if they can find these last 2 rounds, as you said, we can't discredit Saw in any way. Anonymo not as strong as Havu on Nuke. But at the same time, in an 11-4 half, I think most players at this level, competent enough to understand the map of Nuke, can chain together 5 and win the game. And so at an 11-4 scoreline, yes, Saw are so much more experienced on this map, but it seems to be Anonymo have an understanding as well. And so I don't want to exactly sit here and say it's over, but you've got to start scratching your head if you're a Saw fan or anyone on Saw and realize, well, Anonymo are bringing a lot more heat than what they expected.
Definitely. I mean, 1 kill found. Stadodo now picked up that AK-47 off Minyo's fallen body. They're making their way to the B site. Control room will be the place where Kai will contest, but he'll have to wait for someone to aggress him. Stadodo, he'll drop the AK-47, the only rifle that Saw were able to accumulate throughout this round, but aggression coming in from Just. Roman as well finding 1 versus 2. Saw are making this fairly expensive. Not sure if it will matter at the grand scheme of things, especially seeing that this after this round it will be the last half, so last round on the half. Snack's able to win that one out. So okay, Saw, they did a very good job trying to get themselves on site, trying to get themselves those kills, but they need themselves as 5th to stay in the game. As you said, with the game against Havu a couple of days ago, it was that 10-5 scoreline that Saw were able to come back from and get themselves that 16-14 win. Now against Anonymo, if Anonymo get themselves to that 11th, things start to get dangerous here for the Saw side. But we're just going to have to wait and see how this one turns out. Being the last final full buy of this half on the first map here in the last best of 3 series in the main Swiss stage.
Snax is 16-2. By the way, he's got an 8 KD. Flashes on out though towards A. Innocent caught blind. Oh my god, he slept right past everyone, but unfortunately Arky double back swings around, does find a quick kill. Innocent no more, and a 4 versus 5. The bomb going down. Mutiris to find another, and it seems to be that a 10-5 half is well and truly on the cards. Mutiris taking big damage, 99, but the 1 HP keeps him alive. And now it seems to be it is all said and done for this half. A 10-5 most certainly now in place. No doubt about that. Beautifully done, though, by Saw in this round. They don't care. They know that this is the last round. They need to do something. And the push works out nicely. 10-5. We continue to now inspect this game fully. 15 played, and we could see another 15 because this is the exact same scoreline we saw for Havu against Saw. And Saw managed to close out the map 16-14. Let's not forget that. But heading into the T half, as you mentioned, Anonymo aren't as experienced as Havu on this map. They have the maps played, but they don't have the win rate to back it up. And so now, heading into this pistol, I feel like Anonymo's only chance is if they win this exact pistol.
It does seem that way. They can't allow their opponents to gain that momentum early on in the side here. We do know that Nuke's initial rounds do get steamrolled from the CT side, knowing how difficult it is to get the push on here on this A and B sides of Nuke. But, yeah, it is going to look tough at this point. Arky's going to hold down the line. He needs to find these headshots as Anonymo are starting to trickle in. Now, they do have the choice of rotating onto ramp, but it looks like they'll linger on that area of the map for a little bit longer before they get the push on. Roman and just holding down B. A couple of shots being sprayed out. Just gets stinked, but survives for the time being. And Cindery will probably be the death of him, but it's no. It's Kai's bullets that will do the job in the end. Roman doing a lot of damage, not quite able to find the kill though. Anonymo getting themselves on site as Arky finds himself onto control room. Rotations coming in as well. Snacks holds things from above. Mutiri's doing damage, but is that going to be enough? 2 versus 3. Bomb yet to get planted. They're holding down onto time here, sure. If they can keep them bothered before getting the bomb plant, they could cause a lot of pressure. But with 1 minute remaining, Anonymous still have plenty of time to play around this.
Yeah, absolutely. Their troubles now aren't to plant the bomb. It's just trying to find the man. And that is beautiful from Stacks. He knows that he dinked Arky. And that is HP disparate, like in a huge disparity. He's called out 1. Arky, good for 1. But Kai's response, too good. Too strong. An 11th for Anonymo, and I said that this is the chance. This is the opportunity for them to find this game. And they've done exactly that. They found the pistol. The reinvestment from Saw's there. And this is the only chance from Saw to stop Anonymo going to 13. It really is. It really is their only chance. Because the eco up and it will cost them. It will cost them majorly.
And now, Anonymo with the weaponry advantage. We'll try and shut down Saw here on their own map pick, but Saw, this is their chance with the MP9 trying to spray down, able to find some damage, but not quite enough to end their lives. The Dodo trying to hold them back before they get themselves on the B site, but Snacks, he's already sneaked his way through to Squeaky. Now that could be very deadly. But Snacks, yeah, he catches the Dodo off guard, just like that. They get themselves a number advantage. The Dodo no longer there to do that damage with his MP9, and Anonymo, they're going to take it out outside. Smoke's coming out. Nobody is there to greet it, therefore not much information on that regard. They will have no idea that that cross is coming through. But Mutiris, he's wary of the backline of the B site, therefore he will be looking at it, although no one is close by here on Squeaky, no one to greet him. But soon enough, the reinforcements will come in. Innocent hold line back with 1 minute remaining, and Snacks keeping sight on those vents there. They know exactly what they're supposed to do. Mutiri's, though, his position is not yet compromised. They don't know exactly where the B player is on. Although, double Squeaky being opened up there, Arky will be holding down his ground. With that scout, he'll look for the kills as they look to trickle in. They know there's a player near control room. They know that Anonymo have this B site in their eyesight, but they still have 33 seconds to rotate right back to the A site.
Yeah, this could be really smart for Anonymo to go elsewhere, but of course, in a 4 versus 5, you have the HP advantage, you have the weapons advantage, and you have the man advantage. So why would you look elsewhere? Well, they do exactly that. They're going to run right on towards A. A first kill found by Roman, but he needed to find more, and it's costly. Kyler doubling down as well, may even be able to find a third, but that's bomb drop. With 10 seconds to go, they've got to plant the bomb. Anonymo have to rush and grab it, and it will be Kai to find it. The no-scope missing, Arky ducking away, but he has the time to plant. There's no doubt about that. And Anonymo, they find a 12th, but my god, was that as close as you could get.
Really, really close. Anonymo got themselves back on. Saw, they tried. It was a force buy as well. But try is not enough. Not quite able to close that one out, and that will cost them. Have a look at their economy. It's not looking good. Not looking good at all. And if you look at the Gamda nods, they sort of agree with the statement that Anonymo could start to hit the road running here from the get-go, from map number 1. 12-5 is the difference. Though, Retro, yesterday was mad with these comebacks, right? We saw so many of these that kind of got turned around at the back end. I'm not quite sure if that will happen today. But if it does, it will definitely turn things to the interesting side. Just holding down the line with the P250 will drop through. Oh, catches Innocent off guard, but he's got the reinforcements coming in there from Snacks. He's able to win that out, though. He's got help now from the CT side. Saw aggressing, not fearing this push. Mac then picked up, though. Kyler will mow them down. Doto is a solo player left onto the A site, but it shouldn't be too much deal for Anonymo to handle him. And I mean, really, with a USP, there's not much he can do. Spray down a little bit there, but Mingyu will close things up. 13-5 as expected. Saw able to do a little bit of damage, but this is where the buy round comes in. This is pretty much their last resort here on Nuke. And maybe the best of 3 series, seeing that the maps aren't really stacked into their favor. Yeah.
You couldn't have asked for a better round overall. You really couldn't for an Anonymo to take there. But damage being done by Saw, inflicted on the T side. The economy not exactly great, but they've got 5 AKs. What's the need? You know, you can drop the Mac 10s now. It's fine. You can invest the rifles because you know Saw are going to be replicating that sort of firepower. They're going to wield those rifles. They're going to have the utility, and so this is now going to try and give them every advantage possible heading into round 19. And they've got plenty of time, of course. 1 minute and 55 to work something out, and they've always been so keen on finding this man up. And here you go, yet again, cross smoke's thrown. Muterius going to try and spam on through immediately, but Anonymo taking sweet time with this, and I like the way they're taking this. They're throwing utility, they're trying to bait it out as much as possible, but in the end it doesn't matter, because they are going to find their way through secret, and minimal damage has been taken because of it.
And Incendiary was thrown out like we saw Anonymo throw out when Saw was on the T side, but this time didn't have that much effect. Sort of expecting that sort of play, but on the 1 minute mark, they are stuck in a position where there's no calling back. There's no running back on strategies. They need to commit on this. 50 seconds remaining. And Nuke is one of those maps that, with that verticality, that you could even get yourselves on the rotation, but you could also get easily off guard when people are above you. You have the better visibility, but Roman is able to do some damage there. Also takes quite a bit of himself, but Arky trying to hold down the B site within an orthodox angle, knowing that no one would be coming in from ramp as his teammate was covering it, but Doto falls down. 2v3 at this point, but Roman keeps Saw back into this game. They'll go for the 2v2, but Mingyu from outside may be able to catch him off guard. AK Just turns his back at the wrong time. That is very unfortunate for Just. And Anonymo, they look like they're able to get themselves a 14th as Roman is all by himself, and the 1v2 does not look plausible, but he will go for it either way. Not much time remaining. Not quite sure if there's a kit on site, but I think he'll just go for the exit frags instead. Saw with 5, Anonymo looking to make it that 14th. And my, Anonymo, they're looking strong today.
Yeah, beautifully done. Anonymo now at 14. We discredited their nuke completely, you know. We saw the statistics, saw what I would call a subpar performance on Nuke. You know, playing it 6 times and only winning 1 of them as well, I think is something really I would frown upon if I saw that statistic. And I don't blame Saw for picking this map. This is one of their favorites. I mean, for Anonymo, they've played Nuke. The only time they won it was against Movie Star Riders. They've lost to the likes of Force, Still Dunno, Sprout, LDLC, and Trident.
Retro?
Yes.
XM. XM on Justice hands. I'm a big fan of that weapon. I love that weapon.
Yeah. I don't blame him. As long as he scoops it into the right angle, it should be fine. But I think Anonymo at this point in time, as I was saying, you know, we discredited their nuke completely, but they're seeming to show up. And I'm not sure if the XM is going to be their ticket to a 6th. I think Anonymo are going to sweep this 16-5, if I'm honest with you, because the money just isn't there. The push on forward, beautiful first by Just, but only good for 1. The auto shotgun, I mean, it does its purpose, but they needed a bigger play than that, I feel like. And the damage being traded out towards ramp. Minio getting spotted, does drop away. And with 1 minute and 15 to go, Doto actually pushing forward for the aggression. Even more damage done to Minio, but still remains alive. And so in a 4 versus 4, they are the HP down. And so Anonymo going to recalculate their approach in this round until Innocent decapitating Roman. The flashbang from Doto, going to try and find 1, and he does so.
Hello.
Big damage taken back and forth into a 3 versus 3. 1 player on either side on low HP. And they've got to make their move on forward.
They do indeed. 3v3. Saw do have still a chance now. But now with the numbers advantage, Meteorius is fine. That one just disappointed me with that XM. It wasn't quite able to do much damage with it. But yeah, the fact that Saw are able to bring it right back up and get themselves back into the game is exactly what they need. Meteorius, he's going to gain a lot of info from this. The smoke has now faded. If they cross through, he's going to be able to catch them off guard. 1 kill now. Snacks knows where he is, but that angle is so small. Can't spot him out. 1v3 now for Anonymo as Saw look to gain themselves the first round of the half, pushing through. Snax finds a kill. 15 seconds remaining. Now, Noah's on the B side. Smoke can come out. He can safely plant at this point, but it is a 1v2 and it is looking tough for him as Arky and Meteor is looking to close down the gap.
Yeah, they need to find this gap, but at the same time, Snax was on the receiving end of this sort of positioning in a couple of rounds ago, where he played the flank, he tried to find the 1 versus 1, and this is it. It could be the round. He drops the molly. Oh my god, Snax. He's a machine. He's a monster, Snax. Unreal. 15 on the board. Beautifully executed. Perfect timing. A 15th on the board. Oh my word, was that a round from Snax. I'm getting flashbacks to Cobble from not too long ago. A couple years back where he delivered a clutch. Maybe not as big. Maybe not on a bigger stage. But that was just as important as Anonymo map point against Saw on their home ground.
My, Snax picking it up. Giving us deja vu of the good old days. But 15-5, match point. I mean, if Saw even have some sort of a comeback at this point, Anonymo are going to be on that match point for 10 rounds. It isn't looking great for them. And Snax, what a nice first pick. His position they can now compromise, throws down the molly so Meteorus can't push through. That just means that Meteorus is under pressure. It was pretty much a mental game. Not only did he outgun them, not only did he outperform him, but he outsmarted them. And that's what gave him that win. It is a 1v2. Like, those things happen every day, but not at a position that just gives you the win against what would be one of Saw's best maps.
I think the best map in terms of recent success. Yeah, it is their best map. 68% win rate, the highest. I mean, admittedly, Inferno's at 67, but that is just that is relentless from Snax. Absolutely just destroying. And look, Sora still having their fun. Roman's got an auto shotgun again. Just this time on an M4. That nade, oh, big damage. There you go, Innocent. Eat that. Down by 40 in the early stages. But again, Anonymo can afford to take this early HP because they're just going to simply whittle down the utility. They know Sora are going to be on a very poor buy. They're going to have rifles because of the lost bonus, but they won't have the utility to back it up. And so Arky just jiggling, maybe just spotting the man out. And in a 5 versus 5, Anonymo's best bet is to go together. But if they head through Squeaky Door onto the A site, I mean, they could run into a world full of hurt. And I think Snax was 22-5.
Wow.
I do believe that was his. Yeah, there you go. 22-5 for the main man himself.
That is insane.
The Polish monster, and he's just delivering. That's a 4.25 KD.
Yeah, they definitely want to make this roster work out here. Anonymo, they do really want to get themselves at the top of the standings according to these teams. Bring Poland back onto the map of CS:GO, but it's not like they're really left. But they haven't been so present as they used to be back in the good old days. But K, he's able to find a nice crit kill. Anonymo with the numbers advantage should be able to close this one out. Roman, they making the XM work. Nice little peekaroo there, finding a few shots in a row. Auto shotgun. You'd love to see it. How much does this really give them? Not quite able to find that rifle from outside. It would make it a little bit risky. Although no one is outside, he doesn't quite know that, but now we'll realize he will be able to get himself that AK. Things are looking tough here from Saw, but in that 3v4, make it 2v4, they will keep it going. One player now remaining. It's all up to Just. Nothing he can do with Snax. Just deletes him out of the server. Goodbye, Just. And Saw just lose themselves that first map as Anonymo show a stellar performance. My, Retro.